Okay. Welcome back to the sound of musicals. And as you just heard there from Aladdin the Musical, Adam Jacobs is joining us this week. Say hello to Tamworth, Adam.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
We're doing absolutely wonderfully over here in England. And how's it going in America?
We're doing okay. It's a little crazy right now, but
Yeah.
everyone's trying to do the best they can. But actors especially are struggling and trying to find ways to stay afloat and also keep theater alive. And so, kudos to you for helping along with that.
Yeah, of course. Something's making noise. Of course, theatre's struggling over here as well. We have just opened our first musical in London in an outdoor theatre. Jesus
Okay.
Christ Superstar. It's doing really well at the moment.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that musical.
Okay, so, and we can't not talk about Aladdin, of course, because you originated the role on Broadway. You're brilliant.
Yes.
We just listened to you sing one of the songs from the musical. How has that been for you, playing Aladdin in Aladdin?
Oh, it was a dream come true. Obviously, it's a huge, iconic role. It's a role that I loved playing, or I loved watching when I was a kid growing up. And
Yeah.
so to be able to play that character is a dream come true, literally. So,
Yeah.
it's there was obviously a lot of pressure going into it because it's a role that everybody knows and loves, and you want to be able to deliver. And so,
Yeah.
luckily, I had a great director Casey Nicola, Tony Award winner from Book of Mormon, and also the Disney producers. They all worked together to help make this a fresh new take on Aladdin, and allowed us the creative freedom to sort of make it our own. And the result was a big, giant hit, big fat hit that's been playing on the Broadway stages, for over 5 years now.
Yeah, and it's still going on Broadway now.
That's right.
Unfortunately, not with you in it.
Not currently, but yes.
Oh, well, of course, yes. Theatres are all closed at the moment. Whoops.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about Aladdin. In the show, you get 3 wishes. You get 3 wishes from a lamp. And I'm wondering,
Yes.
You've probably been asked this question before, what would be your first wish?
Yes, well, typically when people ask me that question, I like to think of, I break it down into 3 different categories. One is sort of an altruistic, great thing, world peace, world hunger.
Yeah.
Obviously, right now, I'm gonna hope for this pandemic to be over, as soon as possible with, vaccines and therapeutics and all that.
Yeah.
And then my second one, I always like to wish for like a fun, like a superpower. And so I switch it up every now and then, but my go-to typically ends up being telekinesis, because I would love to, move things with my mind.
Yeah.
And plus, if you can move things with your mind, you can fly, right? Because you could just move your body.
Of course.
Right? So you can put them together. And then, the last one is always something selfish, or funny. But usually it's, health for my family and for my kids and all that stuff.
Brilliant.
Or not lifetime, or a lifetime supply of Twizzlers or something ridiculous like that.
Either way, that sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, and off the back of the success of Aladdin, we have been starting to hear rumours that our production, the West End, is going to be going to Disney Plus. Have you spoken to any of the cast members? Are you excited to see a different take on Aladdin?
I am. I'm very excited to see the West End version. Obviously, I'm a little bit, jealous, that they're not going to put the Broadway version on.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I'm still happy that everybody's going to be able to see the show and celebrate it and experience it in their own homes. Yeah. Because it's such an awesome show, and they did such a great job with the sets and the costumes and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they really went full out. Disney, pulls out all the punches.
Of course,
when they want to, and so it's going to be. I'm excited to see their take on it, and I know all the cast members, the leads especially, and so I'm excited to see their performances.
Brilliant! I know I'm excited as well. So you said that Disney, they really pull out all the stops, and I have seen the show on the West End, so I know how crazy and how massive a scale it is, and you also, I assume, had to learn magic for the show as well, illusions.
Yeah,
how have they
there are
gone?
over 80 illusions in the show,
Wow.
and yeah, I had to learn. I mean, there were some things that we did early on in the creative process, like because Aladdin and his friends are singing in the town of Agrabah and
Yes.
busking, essentially
Hmm.
trying to get money from the townspeople, and so we were trying to find creative ways to do that, and one of them was like dancing on a bed of nails while juggling, and so I was
Wow.
doing that for a while, and they cut that obviously for just time constraints,
Oh no.
but it was cool. We had a real bed of nails, and we were really like learning how to do some cool illusions.
Yeah.
Um, but they obviously they kept the really good ones, saved those ones for the genie,
Yes.
and
And
we just let the genie do the magic.
yeah. And a bit of a question here. Has any of it ever gone wrong on stage? And
Oh, cool.
how have you dealt with it? What's the best story from that?
There's so many times where things don't work as planned. Costume malfunctions,
Yeah,
props breaking, because we had lots of props, but
of course.
you just have to go with it. I mean, luckily there was no time in my career as Aladdin where the carpet malfunctioned up in the air. And hopefully that will never happen.
Hopefully. Yeah.
It's magic, and but there are times where we would have to stop and start, and I would have to say the line, "Do you trust me?" And it would get a huge laugh because we had
Oh
to
yeah, I
stop.
can imagine. Yeah.
So there are so many fun the beauty of it is that it's never the same show.
Yeah.
It's live theater. That connection that you get, people are I feel nowadays they're yearning for that feeling again, because it's been so long since
Of
everyone's been
course.
in the
Yeah.
theater. But that's what actors like me, they live on that,
Yeah.
that connection. So hopefully we can get back to that soon.
Hopefully, yeah, because that's what we are all really missing over here in the UK as well. Theatres are currently closed. We're trying to reopen them, but we're really missing sharing that experience. Even when
Exactly.
theatres do open, audiences are going to be cut down to 30% of what they used to be.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with the shutdown of theatres? Are you keeping creative at home?
Yeah, so I've been doing a few things. Obviously Zoom has
Yeah.
been sort of the thread that's everyone's grasping onto,
Oh, yes.
the lifeline, and we are trying to stay creative with performances, concerts, benefits,
Yeah.
and what say you. I've also been working with my wife, who's also a Broadway actress.
Oh, wow.
The two of us have put together we call it a backyard Broadway intensive.
Oh,
So
cool.
we've brought in local students from around our area and taught some classes, socially distanced, of course, but we do a whole intensive there. I'm also trying to market myself to do private concerts,
Yeah.
because that's really the only thing that I can do to perform right now is that,
Of course. Yeah.
in person. So between that and I'm trying to just stay busy and stay creative, because I don't want to ever feel like I'm becoming stagnant, or just you kind of have to keep yourself going,
Yeah.
and
Of
it's
course.
hard. You have to motivate yourself, especially when you don't know how long this is going to be, and people are struggling with their finances. It's
Yeah.
really just a unprecedented time. People keep saying that, but our industry has
True. Yeah.
never seen anything like this. It's really, really scary,
Yeah.
honestly, and I hope that we can all pull through and help each other out.
Yeah, of course. We're having the same thoughts over here in the UK,
Yeah,
but I think that there really isn't an industry more resilient than the arts. I mean, we've
this
all
is
had
true.
to deal with some form of rejection in the past, some form of adversity, and we always find a way, and we will find a way out of this.
The show
Event.
must go on. The show must go on. That's
The
right.
show must go on, indeed. I've got a mask that says that, actually, a face mask that says it.
I like it.
Okay. So, of course, we spoke about Aladdin earlier, but that is not by any means the only show that you have been in. You originated Marius in Les Mis in the US, and you're also in The Lion King, as among other shows. Do you have a favorite that you have been in?
I mean, Aladdin is such a big part of
Yeah.
my career. I have to say that that's been my favorite role thus far,
Yeah.
only because it's been challenging in terms, I had to challenge myself not only in the singing, but I had to, you know, the acting, the comedic chops required, the essentially parkour jungle gym aspect of it that I had to, you know, it's a very athletic role. And then of course the acting. So all of that combined, whenever you have a role that's super challenging, when you put your whole heart and soul into something, it's just that much more rewarding.
Yeah.
And you know, there's been other roles. I've played. I played Zorro. Do you know who Zorro is? He's a sword fighter. So I played him in Atlanta for the U.S. world premiere of that, and I had to learn how to sword fight from Royal Shakespeare Company fight directors. And, yeah, so it's like I've been able to play luckily I've been able to play some pretty fabulous roles.
Yeah.
And you know, and Simba the Lion King was just a beautiful role. Being in that show is just incredible. So yeah, I've been very lucky for sure.
Yeah, and on the subject of shows like The Lion King and Aladdin, they were incredible for not only the show, but for diversity on stage as well, and representation. And because that's been quite brought to the forefront of the discussion recently, how do you feel that Broadway or the West End, the arts in general, are going to move forward after this resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that?
Yeah, it's really important that we continue to make headway. I mean, luckily the arts, the theater arts, have sort of been on the forefront of that. Yeah. You know, especially in relation to like TV and film, which is more reality based. But you know, we're desperately needing representation in that arena. But in the theater, you know, we've gone forward with non-traditional casting. And different ways to include everybody and make it more diverse. But we could definitely go a lot further. And that comes down to the content, down to the writing, you know, what's available. We can't just recycle the same old, you know, golden age musicals. We have to start working on, you know, new material written by artists of color and brought forth by artists of color. So the more that we can highlight those stories and convince producers that it's financially viable, which it is, which it very much is, then you know, we can take the next steps, the next necessary steps. But it's a positive thing that Black Lives Matter movement has you know, drawn attention to the racial injustices that are happening in our country and the inequality and the inequity. And so it's really just a good thing, and we can definitely sort of piggyback on that and create even better diversity in our workplace.
Yeah, well, as I've been saying to other people in previous weeks on the show, people's voices now, especially in theatre, are really being heard much more, and I feel like they're really being listened to. And going forward, when theatres do reopen, we're going to see a lot more diversity, and it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this whole time is sort of going to be like the pre-Renaissance. Everybody's working on their creative things right now, and I expect when this is over, you're going to have a huge influx of creative material into the world, which is exciting.
We've been getting loads of new musicals kind of pop up. I'm sure you have as well over on Broadway. I'm very much looking forward to things coming back and being bigger and better than they were before.
They will be. They will be. I'm optimistic as well.
And one of the things that has been announced is Hercules on Broadway. Now, can we expect to see you maybe in the titular role of that show?
I'll have to get on the phone with my agent and see if we can make that happen. But as of right now, I have no plans, no comment. I'll just leave everybody wondering if I'm doing it or not.
You'd be brilliant for it, I think.
Yeah, maybe that, or you know, I hear Prince of Egypt. How did Prince of Egypt fare over there?
Yeah, it's got some good reviews. It obviously wasn't open for very long, but It's got some great reviews. It's a big epic show. I haven't seen it yet. I was meant to go and see it, but of course I couldn't. Tickets got cancelled, but it was a big epic show.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe that's the next show. We'll see. We'll see. I'm keeping myself open. I'm based in Chicago now, which is not New York, so I'm being more particular in terms of the projects that I do. Just because I'm with my family now, and my kids, my twin boys, are going into first grade, so I'm very much a part of their lives, and so everything now has to be taken through that filter in terms of what's going to be best for the family and best for my career, and that's life. That's just life. Yeah. That's how it works.
Okay, well, that's wonderful to hear, and I wish you the best for any future projects, and hopefully we get to hear you sing "Go the Distance" as you do on your album as well.
Yes, thank you. That album has been such a huge blessing just to have that done, because I've always wanted to do a debut solo album, and to be able to do it with Alan Menken's music with him. I mean, you can't beat that. I was very lucky.
Legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
What was it like to work with Alan Menken on Aladdin?
He was incredible. I mean, I remember there's one memory I have is when we were working on A Whole New World. Yeah. And he comes into the room and we're singing it, and he's like, "You know what? I think we should change it." I was like, "You want to change A Whole New World? This Grammy Award winnings?" And he's like, yeah. He's very much, he's kind of like Cameron McIntosh. He's very high energy, a little bit, hyper productive people. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. So he's like he's like a whirling dervish, comes in. He's like, yeah. He pushes the music director out from behind the piano, and he starts playing.
Oh wow!
And he's like, let's add this, let's do that, let's add a suspension, add a key change, and he created the Broadway version right then and there with me and Courtney, who played Jasmine, in the room.
Brilliant.
And so it's just that kind of energy, and on top of that, how generous he was with his time with me working on his album. Yeah, we were able to go up to his studio and went through his entire catalog of music, and I was able to cherry pick songs that people hadn't heard of before, and just to put together this album. And he spent a whole day with me doing that, and he's just a quality guy.
Yeah. Okay, and the album, I was just listening to it before I came on this call with you, and I must say it is a wonderful collection of songs. You sing brilliantly on it.
Thank you. I wanted to make it sort of like a collector's piece, in the sense it's sort of like a tribute album. Yeah. I didn't want to just do a random collection of Broadway songs. I wanted to make it more focused, and I think we accomplished that.
Yeah, well, it's a wonderful album, and anyone listening at the moment, go and check it out. It's called "Go the Distance," Adam Jacobs.
Yes, Right Where I Belong is the name of the album, yes.
Oh, Right Where You Belong. I was just listening to "Go the Distance." It's got confused in my head.
It's all right.
Okay, no, and so final question now, because we're coming towards the end of the interview for the show, and I ask this to everyone that comes on The Sound of Musicals. What is your favourite musical and your favourite song from that musical? But the catch is, you can't have worked on the show.
Oh wow! I can't have worked on it. Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, typically my favorite. I usually respond with West Side Story, because I love that musical.
Yeah.
And I guess I could still say that because I've never played Tony.
Yeah.
But I have played Bernardo. Okay. But I've never played Tony.
We'll let that slide. We'll let it slide.
We'll let that slide, right? We'll just pretend. We'll pretend. And I'll say that, the duet tonight is just a beautiful duet. Maria. Maria is one of the ultimate love songs of all time.
Of course, yeah.
I just love the music from that show, and obviously the story behind it, the Romeo and Juliet story. But that music was so revolutionary at the time when it was created, and it still has such amazing power. I love that musical.
It's a classic, isn't it?
It's a classic.
You can't beat classics.
No, you really can't.
Thank you. We will play that song out later on in the show. But until then, thank you so much for joining us, Adam. It has been a pleasure to talk to you. The original Aladdin, original Marius, Simba, among many other characters on Broadway. Adam Jacobs, thank you so much.
Thanks, Callum. Thanks so much.